Look, what's happening with this team is straight up madness. And you need to hear every word because this is urgent. We're about to make a desperate move on the offensive line. That could either be genius or a total disaster pulling in. All-pro out of position to face to monsters who already wrecked him once. But that's nothing compared to our broken defense, where we just lost our leader, and the solution is bringing in someone who's been invisible for 5 years to stop the MVP frontrunner. And if you think that's all, Saturday showed us a massacre that's a preview of the hell waiting for us if we win tonight. The NFC West owns us, and we've all been living in a bubble. If you want to know whether we're actually Super Bowl bound or if this whole thing falls apart tonight, stick around because I'm breaking it all down. And if you love the Bears, hit that like button and subscribe right now. This is just getting started. After years of watching this team get bullied with O-lines that looked like revolving doors, we finally thought we had it figured out. Ryan Poles spent real money, brought in Joe Thuney, a 4-time All-Pro, and built what was supposed to be a brick wall to protect Caleb Williams. And now, in the biggest moment of the season, Ben Johnson is about to tear it all down. Let me tell you this, moving Joe Thuney from left guard to left tackle is a desperate move. And I don't mean that in a bad way necessarily, but it's risky as hell. Brad Biggs confirmed it this afternoon, and to me, this says way more about our situation than we want to admit. Thuney is 33. He's not a tackle. He's never been a full-time tackle in his career. Yeah, he did it last year with Kansas City for 3 regular season games and 3 playoff games, including the Super Bowl. But you know what happened in that Super Bowl? He gave up 7 pressures and a sack. 7 pressures in the biggest game of the year, and now we're asking him to do it again. But this time against Jared Verse and Byron Young, 2 of the most explosive pass rushers in the league. Verse is a beast, a rookie who plays like a 10-year vet. Young is a bulldozer who never stops charging, and we're throwing Thuney, who hasn't played tackle all season, into the fire in a freezing cold playoff game. Tell me that's not insane. I think it is, but I also get why they're doing it. Ozzy Trapilo tore his patellar tendon last week against Green Bay. That injury is brutal. He's not just out for the playoffs, he might not be ready for the start of next season. That makes left tackle a massive need this offseason. But here's what bugs me. We've got Theo Benedette. The guy's played 522 snaps at left tackle this season, 100 to more than Trapilo. He's been out there doing the job. And now, in the biggest game of the year, they're benching him. What message does that send? That they don't trust him, period. And you know what else this tells me? Ben Johnson wants to use Colston Loveland in multi-tight end sets on the left side. Without asking him to block Verse or Young, he wants Loveland out in space, being a receiving threat, not an emergency blocker. And to do that, he needs someone at left tackle who can handle those edge rushers solo. Here's the deal. If Thuney can hold up, if he can survive that Rams pressure, this could be brilliant. But if he can't, if he gets hurt, if Jordan McFadden or Luke Newman can't hold it down at left guard, Caleb Williams is going to be running for his life all night. And speaking of McFadden, this dude has 3 offensive snaps into seasons. 3. Now he's starting at left guard in a divisional playoff game. We went from an all-pro at that spot to a guy who's barely played in the NFL. That's a massive downgrade, but you know what? I trust Ben Johnson. The guy's an offensive genius. If he thinks this is the right move, that this gives Caleb the best shot to win, then I'm riding with him. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm nervous. Really nervous. Because if this goes sideways, if Thuney gets hurt or can't handle the position, we don't just lose this game. We lose confidence, we lose momentum. And we head into the offseason with even more questions about the O-line. And one more thing, this tells me left tackle is now the #1 priority in the draft or free agency, because clearly, Benedette isn't the long-term answer if they don't trust him now, and Trapilo might not be ready to go. So what do? Draft someone in the first round, go after a vet in free agency. Because I'm telling you, we can't go into next season with the same doubts we've got right now. But for now, it's all on Joe Thuney, a 33-year-old all-pro guard playing out of position in the brutal Chicago Cold against one of the nastiest pass rushes in the league. If that's not pressure, I don't know what is. If that shocked you, wait till you hear this. Our defense, supposed to be the heart and soul of this team, is completely wrecked. And I'm not exaggerating. TJ Edwards, our defensive leader, our on-field brain, broke his fibula against Green Bay. He's done for the season. Tremaine Edmonds was already hurt. Our linebacker cores which should have been a strength, is now our biggest weakness and Ryan Pohl's solution. Signalend Reeves-Maybin. Now don't get me wrong, Reeves-Maybin is a 9-year vet. He's been around. He knows the game, but you know the last time he played real defensive snaps, 2021. With the Detroit Lions, that's 5 years ago. Since then, he's been mostly a special teams guy, a situational player, not a starter. And now we're asking him to be a key piece against Matthew Stafford and the Rams. Against the MVP frontrunner, against a guy who can carve up defenses with his eyes closed. You think Reeves-Maybin is ready for that? I think he's a pro, and he'll give it everything he's got, but I also think we're in a desperate spot. We had no other choice. The position is so thin we had to go get someone who's basically been off the radar for years. And here's the worst part, Stafford's not just gonna air it out. The Rams have Kyren Williams and Blake Corum in the backfield. Two dynamic backs who can win the game by themselves if you give them space. And with our linebacker group in shambles, they're gonna have all the space they want. I'm telling you, if Reeves-Maybin and the rest of the linebackers can't stop those backs, can't cover the Rams' tight ends, can't pressure Stafford when we blitz, we're gonna need another fourth quarter miracle from Caleb Williams, because let's be real, our defense has been a mess this season. We used to be the monsters of the Midway. We used to have the best defense in the league year after year. Brian Urlacher, Julius Peppers, Akeem Hicks, those dudes dominated, and now we're signing guys off the street just to fill holes, and it's not just the linebackers. The whole unit has dropped off. We've given up more points, more yards, more third down conversions than we have in years, and in the playoffs. Against elite offenses like the Rams, that's a recipe for disaster, but you know what? I still believe in this team, because we've found ways to win when nobody gave us a shot. We came back against Green Bay when everyone thought we were done. Caleb Williams became the first Bears QB to beat the Packers twice in a season since Jim Harbaugh in 1991. That's historic. That's special. And it tells me this team has something different, something we haven't seen in Chicago in decades. But I'm also realistic. I know our defense is our Achilles heel. I know if we can't stop Stafford, Kyren Williams, Puke and Nakua, we're in big trouble. So here's the bigger question. Can we actually win a Super Bowl with this defense? Because even if we win tonight, even if we go to Seattle for the NFC Championship, we're gonna face even better offenses, and if we can't stop them, it won't matter how good Caleb is. So what do we do in the offseason? Go all in on defense. Bring in a new defensive coordinator. Draft linebackers early. Because I'm telling you, we can't keep living like this. We can't rely on our offense to drop 40 every game just to have a shot. We need balance. We need a defense that can get stops when it matters most, and right now, we don't have that. And just when you thought we were done, here comes the real crazy part. Saturday, we saw something that should terrify us. Seattle demolished San Francisco 41-6. 41-6, the 49ers, a team that's been to multiple Super Bowls, recently got humiliated in their own house, and you know what that means for us. If we win tonight, if we somehow get past the Rams, we're heading to Seattle to face the 12th man, to face a defense that's playing like the old school Legion of Boom. Let me ask you, do you really think we can win there? I want to believe it. I want to think Caleb can work magic in any stadium, but I'm also realistic. Seattle is brutal. The noise, the atmosphere, that defense playing at the highest level in the league right now. Mike Macdonald, their head coach, is a defensive wizard. In just his second year, he's got that team playing like champions, and their defense, it's the real deal. Ask the 49ers how it felt to face them. And here's what kills me, the Rams almost beat them in Seattle a few weeks ago. They were up 30-14 in the fourth quarter, and Seattle came back and won 38-37 in overtime. If the Rams, who we're facing tonight, almost beat them there, what makes us think we can? I'm telling you, Seattle is the end of the road. No matter how well we play, no matter how many miracles Caleb pulls off, that's a wall I don't know if we can climb. And you know what else bugs me? Everyone talked about the NFC North being the toughest division in football. The Lions, the Vikings, the Packers, us. It was supposed to be the crucible of greatness. But you know what? The NFC West is way better. The Rams beat the Lions. Seattle shut out the Vikings 26-0. We lost a close one to the 49ers. The only NFC North win over the NFC West was the Packers beating the Cardinals, the worst team in that division. And they needed a fourth quarter comeback to do it. That tells me we've been living in a bubble. We thought we were good because we competed in the NFC North. But the truth is the NFC West is a whole different beast. And if we want to make it to the Super Bowl, we've got to go through that division. First the Rams tonight, then probably Seattle, and every one of those games is going to be a war. But you know what? I still believe. I believe in Caleb Williams. I believe in Ben Johnson. I believe in this team that's found ways to win when nobody gave them a shot, because let's be honest, Chicago has suffered enough since Michael Jordan in 1998. We haven't had a true superstar. Derrick Rose got hurt, Justin Fields flamed out, Patrick Kane won 3 Stanley Cups. But Chicago will never be a hockey town. But Caleb is different. He's already taking over this city. Fans are painting their nails navy blue and orange. For him, that's something not even Dennis Rodman pulled off, and this is after one playoff win. Imagine if we win the Super Bowl, this city would explode. It'd be total pandemonium. But to get there, we've got to win tonight. We've got to get past Stafford and the Rams. We've got to trust that Joe Thuney can play out of position. We've got to believe that Yolanda Reeves-Maybin can help stabilize our defense. And if we do all that, if we find a way to win, then we can worry about Seattle. We can worry about that trip to hell in the Pacific Northwest. But for now, all that matters is tonight. Soldier Field, freezing temps, the Rams, and our shot to prove that Chicago is back. So let me ask you this, do you think Joe Thuney can handle left tackle against Jared Verse? Do you think Yolanda Reeves-Maybin can help slow down Stafford and those Rams running backs? And if we win tonight, do you really think we've got a shot in Seattle? Because here's what I believe tonight's gonna be a war. I think it's gonna be ugly, brutal, and probably come down to the final drive. But I also believe Caleb Williams is special. I believe Ben Johnson is the coach we've been waiting for. And I believe this city, this incredible fan base deserves a winning team. But I need to know what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell me if you think Thuney can do it. Tell me if you trust our defense. Tell me if you believe we can make it to the Super Bowl. And if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? This channel is your home for everything Bears. We're a family here. And families stick together through thick and thin. So hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell so you don't miss a single update, because I promise you tomorrow, no matter what happens tonight, we're gonna have more explosive news, and you do not want to miss what's coming for Chicago. Smash that like if you think Caleb's taking us to Seattle. Subscribe if you believe this is our year, and comment your prediction for tonight's game. Because this is more than football. This is Chicago. This is who we are. And after 40 years of pain, we finally have something special. Bear down, family. I'll see you after the game.